We'd have shoot around. I'd go home, smoke a joint, take a nap, eat, and go to the game.
I feel like this is the most dynamic plant on earth.
Don't be naive to the fact that it's helping people.
How beneficial would it be then to legalize it for the league?
Super beneficial.
Basically, everyone here in this table has smoked before, and I think everyone always remembers the first time that they smoked. So I'll start with Catino. Do you remember your first time smoking? What was it about?
Yeah, I just told the guys right before this, the very first time I smoked was with my business partner. It was May 7th of last year in Miami.
He remembers the date. Like a child, like a
4:58 p.m.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
9
I
pounds,
sparked
12
up.
ounces.
It was actually Blue Dream.
My dad used to grow weed, so I used to steal it like fresh off the plant.
For real?
You know what I mean? Stems and sticks and seeds and all.
Smoking it wet.
For real. I was 14.
Yeah, for me, man, it was actually when I was playing in Golden State. We were
bad influences.
Which one you gonna play?
man, all of them. But we were in Phoenix, and we sitting in the room, and they win. So we sitting there and everybody pissed off, especially because, we won more games than we won, for the We Believe year and all that. So they just started sparking up. And they just like, Al, you gonna hit this? And I'm like, man, I'll try it. And I've been smoking ever since.
I was a freshman in college. Tried it once and put me out, and I didn't like the feeling. Sitting there, I got queasy. I was like, yo. So I know what that meant. Like, I know what it means now. Like, I was loaded. You know what I'm saying? like I know now, like, I was like out of my mind. But I just tried it again, and I'm like, this ain't that bad. Yeah, this is probably gonna be my lane here.
Did y'all ever play high? I know y'all were talking about that earlier.
I never played after smoking, but we were playing in Indiana one day. Like, I wasn't feeling well. I had a hamstring or hip or something. So I smoked, and I was like, well, I wasn't gonna play originally. So we got to the arena, I was like,
Feel better.
I feel good. Like, I went out there, had a great game. Yo,
What numbers you do?
I was like, I like 24, I'm saying, like double. I was like, yo, this is, like, I felt great.
Anybody else ever smoke and play?
Me, no.
You did?
My whole life, really.
For real?
From high school to college to the pros.
What was your routine?
I just found a way. I'm telling on myself, but I don't give a fuck now. I mean, what I would do is we'd have shoot around. I'd go home, smoke a joint, take a nap, wake up, take a shower. Shower was important. Shower would wake me back up, eat, and go to the game.
What was the best game you remember?
All my best games, I was medicated.
For real?
Yeah, that's, like I said, like he said, I mean, he felt like he couldn't play that night. You know what I mean? And he smoked and he went and had a gig. Like, so I just knew as much as I could. It wasn't every single game, but in 15 years, it was a lot.
You know a lot of people who smoke, but a lot of it's behind the scenes and stuff like that. Particularly in the NBA, how many closet smokers do you think there are?
Shit, I think 85% of the league. Well,
I think like
old NBA,
since I left,
yes, yeah.
like early, mid-2000s.
There was a lot of people who you wouldn't think, you know what I'm saying? Like,
A lot of
who
people.
you never hang
but then
out
at the
with,
same
would
time,
never
the
think, you know what
GMs,
I'm saying?
coaches, presidents, like as far as when you want to say closet, I mean, it goes deeper than what you think. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
ain't
Some of these
just
people that are cracking whips on us are
trainers
smoking weed.
and-
Yeah. Some of the people
you
that
know what
are
I'm saying? Like,
cracking
it's-
whips and suspending us are smoking weed.
Mostly everybody's a closet smoker. All my billionaire mentors or whatever, they all consume. They smoke like crazy.
So how beneficial would it be then to legalize it for the league?
Very.
I mean, listen, super beneficial. If you have access to something, if you have information about something, you will become disciplined enough to understand when I should take it or when I shouldn't. But when you have someone telling you cannot do something, you're going to fight that system. I don't care who you are.
Because when we first came in the NBA, we used to get that one preseason drug test and you could rock the whole year.
When did it start going random, bro?
Going
so-
to my 5th year.
Yeah.
I think it had to do with some baseball steroid stuff. So we started, and they knew that marijuana was the only problem. We didn't have no steroid problems. They had a perception that all these black athletes are out here smoking weed.
So how do you pass the test then?
No, like I didn't, I'd been, yeah.
Well, I think,
But think about it, we rarely got in trouble too. we didn't really truthfully get in trouble.
I got in some trouble.
When all the propositions were coming up to legalize it, like people were just crazy trying to push this stuff, or did you think there was an actual chance?
No, I believed in it because, like I said, I've been a long time smoker and just have known what it's capable of. And I think it was fear, or I mean, it's feared because of the stereotypes we have today. It's pictured as, you know, a gateway drug, or you know, a black thing, so to speak.
And at the end of the day, like with cannabis, like, you know, we can't go out and say that it heals anything right now because of the FDA and stuff like that. But we have all these stories where it does. Reading up on like how I help kids with epilepsy and different things like that, how I help people deal with so many different issues, you know what I'm saying? Even people like that are terminally ill with cancer and HIV, give them a better quality of life. You know, I feel like this is the most dynamic plant, you know, on earth, because it does so many things.
I played 15 years, man, like, and made it through like a lot of major injuries and still was able to play at a high level. You know, and that's through most of my career, you know what I'm saying, me self-medicate. You know, like I'm the only athlete, basketball player to come back from 2 microfracture surgeries on each knee and play basketball, man. Like that's medicine. I walk around to this day. Like I've had major reconstruction surgery on my left ankle, had my patella repaired. Like I walk around, man, in no pain.
My life was on TV, man. I'm going through, my mom dies when I'm playing in Golden State, and I play the next day. The day after my mom dies. I get divorced on that, you know what I mean? I have a reality TV lifestyle. My ex-wife is with my former teammate. Like, there's a lot of shit that would break normal people, you know what I mean? But I'm sitting back smoking a joint, able to laugh at my life because like, this is gonna be a crazy story when I get older, man. You know what I mean? Like all the shit I done been through, and I didn't kill myself, or I'm not in prison.
Did you smoke when you was driving to the?
On the way to get Derek? Earlier that night I had, I was listening to Tupac on the way over there, so that boy didn't stand a chance, you feel me?
Trust me.
Boy didn't stand a
Did we help you out mentally through that whole process?
Oh, that's what I'm saying, it kept me sane. I've been someone that just smoked because I know how it made me feel.
Yeah,
now, regardless if it was against the rules for the NBA, I knew what it kept me from doing on a mental standpoint, and how it made me feel after we played a back-to-back, you know what I mean, heading into the playoffs, getting ready for the playoffs. Like I just knew that, man, I'm gonna hit that, my back's gonna feel better, my toe is gonna feel better, my fingers, I have broke all my fingers are gonna be all right, and I just know like tomorrow's gonna be, you know, a cool day.
Did you ever think that you'd be on Bleacher Report smoking? Nah. Or talking about weed?
I think Al for this, you know, I think Al really took a big step with really his movement as a whole, but you gotta think, he sat down with David Stern, you know, the NBA commissioner, and now we're on Bleacher Report smoking a joint.
How far do you think we are from the NBA allowing players?
I think they will allow CBD, cannabinoids, I think within the next 3 to 5 years, I think. I think there's enough testing there. I think there's enough people telling, you know, the right stories. I think the World Anti-Doping Agency, they just allowed, you know, CBDs in the Olympics and different things like that. So I think some of those barriers are starting to, you know, be knocked down.
But you know what's crazy? It's not so much that, not to cut you off, Al, but it's not so much the NBA says you could smoke weed now. It's that they don't test for it. You know what I mean? We're the only major sport that gets 4 random tests for this.
Baseball
only
players.
Sports. Football gets 1 in the preseason and they're tested for steroids. Baseball, same thing. You know
Baseball
what I mean?
only get tested for it, no street drugs.
Right, so it's just like, you know, like I said, it's a stereotype drug. Because it's a black athlete stereotype drug. Right, we're the only league that they test 4 times random for weed. Like, why? You're not testing for alcohol. You're not testing for these, you know what I mean, these pills that are destroying our insides that our trainers are giving us.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're testing for weed because you know we like to do it.
For us, this is our fraternity is our family. For this right here, it does so many different things for us to calm us down.
Like you said too, and I mean, most guys that I could think of, all my teammates that smoked, they were always the ones that was always like in the house.
But chilling, right?
Chilling, always in the house. They weren't out like, you know what I'm saying? They be like, all right, yo, he just did it. I'll be right here.
I'm curious from your 2 perspectives though, because obviously you guys have investments within the marijuana organizations and companies in terms of what you guys are building. Were you guys concerned about the label of like drug dealer, and how hard was that kind of like to box out as you guys understand this was a business?
Like I'm a serial, you know, entrepreneur, and like I just like to jump off the cliff as long as I understand what I'm doing, right? Like it's not like we used to, like drug dealers around the way. It's not like that. But you're building a foundation, right? For me, that made me feel better because now I found my niche. Not so much medical marijuana, but just being a businessman and learning a lot of things. I always believe it. When somebody tells you something, research it as much as you can. You never know that could be your, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. So that's the only reason I went for it.
I don't know, for me, I've never been like shy about it. You know what I mean? Like if somebody asks me what I'm working on or what I got going on, I would always mention it. So for me, I haven't met much resistance. How I got in, I was in Denver. You know what I mean? My grandmother had come to see me. She was 81 years old at the time, and she had set up all her medication like in the kitchen. Yeah. There was like 30 different pills or whatever. So I'm like, damn, grandma, you take all that every day? And she like, yeah, I take it for this, that, glaucoma, blah, 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 blah. She said glaucoma. I was like, damn, I just read something about glaucoma the other day. So I'm telling her, I'm like, well, grandma, you should actually try it and just see what happens. So like I said, I'm from Jersey where growing up, anybody that smoked weed had no future. Like nobody. You had
everywhere.
You had no chance of making it in life. People just viewed you as like, he's done. Let's write him off completely. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm sitting here like, grandma, you should try it. She like, boy. So first I told her you should try. I called it Cannabis. And she's like, what's that? And I was like, weed. She's like, reefer? I ain't smoking no reefer. She's like, wait a minute, get out of my face. I ain't smoking no reefer. She's like, reefer mess up your uncle's life and your grandfather's life. All these niggas on nothing because it's reefer, right? Reefer. So reefer. So I'm like, grandma, look, why don't you just try the weed? You know what I'm saying? I was like, because they said it'll help. And I was like, the medicine you taking is not working. You may as well give it a shot. And after a while, she was just like, my eyes hurt so bad today, I'll try anything. So I called my boy. He went, got her some Vietnam Kush, came back. He bought his Volcano. Remember, I told you I ain't have none of this shit. I just had it whenever I was with the homies. So he came, he bought his Volcano. He vaporized it. We took it in the garage. She started hitting it, right? So what's funny about that, she's smoking it, and she's like, and I'm looking like, damn, grandma, you sure you don't smoke? She's just chilling. I'm like,
she know what's going on here.
Looking like a pro.
Boy, no, I ain't smoked, blah, blah, blah. She said, I smoked cigarettes one time when I was 16. Yeah. So whatever, so I take it downstairs, I take my nap. So when I wake up from my nap, I was ready to jump in the shower, and I said, let me just go check on her real quick. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she ain't down there bugging out or nothing. So I go downstairs, and I knock on the door, and her back is to the door, and she looking down. So I stick my head in, and I'm like, grandma, you all right? And she turned around, and she started crying. She's crying tears, and she's like, I'm healed. She's like, I haven't been able to read the words of my Bible in over 3 years. And she crying, she made me start crying, and after that, it just completely changed, my perception. Really, at this point, it went from just being a social thing that just made me feel good to where I seen wow, all that shit I've been reading in the paper is actually true.
What is the perception you want our BR audience to understand from this conversation about athletes, and particularly in the NBA and marijuana?
I mean, you can still be a successful person, successful athlete. It doesn't make you a bad person if you consume cannabis. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you a bad person if you're still functioning and taking care of responsibilities and doing all that. You can still be successful at what you're doing. So you can't fight the science of it. So do your homework and don't be naive to the fact that it's helping people.
We're actually trying to help. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to heal the world, essentially. It's not about just the monetary gains that we can get from this. You know what I'm saying? I really want to be able to change people's lives. We're thinking legacy now. You know what I'm saying? I met with some of the people from the NBPA during All-Star Week, in February. And, I was telling all of them, I said, that first chapter I wrote is nothing compared to this second one I'm about to do.